All right, got all the goodies. Got my gasket set in now. Got a couple of new cases. Got them all cleaned up, ready to go. Crank is all cleaned up. Nuts and bolts are all cleaned up. Got my assembly lube, Loctite, Ultra Gray. I know some guys can say, oh, I shouldn't use Ultra Gray, but I like to use it just to seal the cases up. There's no gasket required, but over time they seem to get marked up a little bit from people scraping off gaskets and stuff, so I've just put that in there as a little extra protection. So I say we get into it. I want to get this thing going and in the boat and test driving this weekend, so let's get at it. So the engine's actually upside down right now. And we'll swish that around. Make sure I got no oil on my hands. And we got that ring, but I forget whether it goes here or one further in. All right. Now I got to get all the bearing stops in their correct place. And this lighting it is tricky, I must say. Get all those bearing stops where you want them, and they almost always are down at the bottom. Okay, so show you, it's just these little pins. They want to be down right there. Gasket sits in little grooves. There's a little groove on the gasket. That's in, that's in. Everything looks good. Except it's not sitting in there correctly because the rotary gear. No, I'd say it's sitting down in there good. Last chance to see inside for any kind of crud. Is that sealed? Yep. Okay. Everything looks good. So 24 Nm on the smaller ones. I'm just going to get a longer socket. Okay. Already there. $40. Already there. All right. That looks good. So now we'll flip her over. These are just bolts I use for the stand. I'm going to throw a little bit of two-stroke oil in there, I think. Let me get some two-stroke. Makes for a nice smoky startup. Okay. Next thing is put the pistons on. And we'll get some bearings. And a wrist pin. And a piston. Looking for the arrow, it's right there. All right, I probably should have put the pin in that side. I was so focused on this being the mag piston, I wasn't paying attention to which way the exhaust was, and the exhaust comes out this side. So, took it off again, switch it around. Now we can put the pin in this side. Looks good. Moving on to the cylinders. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with the Permatex on the top. And number 5 gasket. Which fits good. Okay. Now I got to goop the cylinders. I guess that's my next thing, is better lighting. That looks good. And I'll put some 2-stroke oil in the cylinder. A little bit of a score line there, but you can't even feel it. So we're going with them. Well, guess it was. Okay. And some more Loctite. Getting heavier. Okay, let's put the exhaust on. Temporary install. Okay. $10 mil. Oh, it's not. The wrong bolts? Let's have a look. Well, mixed up the head bolts and the cylinder bolts. So, I have changed them. Keep it nice and clean in there instead of full of crud. Okay. Now the bolts. And 24 Nm. Whoops. That. There's one. And there's one. Holy jeez. We got some weed whacking going on. Okay. And how tight do you want to put those on? 24? because it says 24. Just make sure that she's going to fit in there. Under that piece of wood, I'd say yes. Is probably goes on in a certain way. Yeah, like that, because it's keyed there and there's two holes that are further apart. And a bazillion screws tight right here. A couple of those are round. Okay. Get it right on the mark. Which it is. Here we go. And that's it. And we just ground up a bolt. And like a glove. Oh, that's a good fit. That is keyed. Oh, this thing is gonna suck in and hurt my hands. And we'll Loctite that on there too. Lock washer, Loctite. $10 bazillion. Mm-hmm. Don't know. I think that breaks the clip when they take them off, but yeah. Oh, and I think that one's a 12 mil. Or 13. 13. Getting too much stuff on the bench. Click. Click. Perfect. Starter's on. Tightening her down, but we'll deal with that. That will self-tighten. All right, the last time we rebuilt one of these, the camera was way too far away and you weren't able to exactly see what I was doing. So the plan today is to hopefully show you how to set up one of these 720s, the rotary gear. So I went online, bought a protractor. It's made for this. This one came from the Watercraft Superstore, but I think you can get them on eBay. They're just a couple of bucks. And that just goes right on there over the, what do you call that, rotary valve shaft. And we're gonna set this to 360 degrees right to the bottom of the port. Then we're gonna come around, so 360 is on the inside, come all the way around to 147 degrees. And put a mark right there 145, 46, 47, so pretty close. Then what I do, I just shove this on here, which these are, and I roll it back to my line. And it was just actually a little bit to the edge of that line. I do that, and you can't miss it. That's our 147 degrees. That's where this thing's got to line up. So now we got to bring the mag side up to top dead center. All right, here we go. Just kind of a rinky-dink setup just to find out our exact top dead center. You can stick a screwdriver in there and just rock the PTO back and forth till you get it to the all the way up, but you can see right about there. Yeah. And that is, excuse me, pretty darn close to where we want to be. All right, so I switched back to the marker method, and you can see as it's going up and down, you got to bring it right to top dead center. And then there's like a little bit of a flat spot there, so you kind of got to feel to the center. So there's quite a bit of play. Anyway, once you get it to where you want it, I'm pretty darn close to the mark. Works out to about 148 degrees. That's close enough for this. That's the way she goes. So I'm going to take it off, oil it up, put it back on, button this thing up, and let's get her put in the boat. That might take a minute. And back on again. It seems like such a simple thing to put this on, but the tolerance is so tight. And that is dirty. Got my rubber gasket on there, brand new O-ring. Guess that's not going to hold, so I better grab some bolts. Okay. This one under here is in an awesome spot too. Right in there. That is her. Okay, so as you can see, we are in the engine bay. I'm just going to try and hook up the stuff that's going to be difficult to get to later. There we go. Another zip tie. Have to fix these zip ties up. And put a beast in there. Ah, what the hell. Geez, I wonder if you can set the idle. Binding up on everything. I just want to see where this goes before I get this all in and find out if it's supposed to go on the inside, which I think it is. Yep. Okay. That was more than enough. All right. Well, I think that's it. Actually, I'll just test the steering, reverse, forward. That'd be reverse, buckets down. Blocking, yeah. Forward, or neutral. Halfway. Forward. All the way. Yeah. Steering. Hard right. Yep. Alright, this one just ran out of fuel and wouldn't start. And I realized that I had taken the pulse line off because I had to take the carburetor off. And I forgot to put it back on, and so no fuel. So now we got that hooked back up, so we're going on test 2. Definitely have a head gasket leak. A little bit of water coming out. Okay, so after the shakedown cruise, I have discovered a few things. One, that head is leaking, and I'll bet you money I know why. I don't remember putting this gasket in there. I remember doing the ones underneath. Don't remember, so we're going to pull the head off and have a look at that. And that will fix that, hopefully. And I have no tack, so I got to figure out why the tack isn't working. On the other engine, I found a water leak on the exhaust, and when I was trying to pull the hose off, the whole engine was moving, so that's not bolted down. But I am going to pull the drive and everything out anyway on that side and the pump because I need to put a new PTO boot on there, and then I'll align the engine, tighten everything down, and reinstall that. And it's got a carburetor issue on that side. On the low speed, you hit the throttle and it bogs out. It doesn't matter how far you adjust the jet in or out. So we're going to take the carburetor off, clean that, and go for shakedown cruise number 2. So I'll pull the head off and then I'll bring you back and we can have a look at what I did. All right, here we go. Ta-da! No freaking gasket. So I'll put that in there, we'll put her back together, and I'll bet you that'll solve a lot of problems. All right, well, there she is in all her glory. Runs pretty darn good. Top end, bottom end, a little bit of a hesitation, but I got old fuel and I put oil in the fuel as well. So I'm gonna run that through. I did do a full carb cleanup and not really any big change. So I'm guessing it's a fuel issue itself. So I guess that's about it. We'll send this one down the road. I'm on a hunt for a 951 fuel injected, a little bit newer. So I think that's going to be the next one. So I'll keep you posted. So until then, have fun on the water.